Welcome to day 4 of our month of tarot practice. And I hope you are getting on really well. We are feeling protected. We are turning ourselves on and off. In fact, before we begin, I hope you have your cards in front of you. And let's do it. Let's practice that again, as we did yesterday. So closing your eyes, feet on the ground. Nice big deep breath. Imagine that beautiful orb of energy that's going to protect you. Calling in protection from your guides and your angels. You can keep this really simple and short, so you can sign language, I guess, shorten it down to dearest, dearest God, dearest angels, dearest guides, dearest my higher self, please protect me as I work with the cards today. Taking a deep breath. Imagining that beautiful egg forming around you, protecting you from anything lower and keeping the wisdom at its absolute highest. And then we're going to take another breath and we're going to think on. On! Okay, so with your cards to hand. This is something I do in all my workshops with beginners, with newbies, and with my kids. Okay, because I think this is a kind of a fun thing to do. It's a fun way to approach the cards. So we're going to have a little shuffle. In whatever way is good for you, feel free to, blur them about all over the floor, whatever you need to do. It might be that you can't even shuffle. You just do half and half, and then again, and then again, and then again, until it feels right. However, as long as you're in contact with them and you're moving them about, that's absolutely fine. So we have done that. So what I always do, and it's up to you if you do this or not, is I take the top off halfway through and I swap it over. So this is the card we want. So this is the card for our day ahead. And I have the Two of Cups. And whenever I'm using this deck, the Cosmic Mother, you'll see me smiling because I painted them myself. So each and every card is infused with things I know about my life. And I actually painted this as myself and my husband. So it's a sweet card for me and the way forward. So this is how I am going to ask you to engage with your card. So we could look at my card to begin with as an example. So when I'm working with my 6-year-old daughter, okay, I will say to her, what is the story on the card? There is no right, there is no wrong. If you were a child, if you were 6 years old and somebody showed you a picture, you would probably feel quite open to interpreting what was going on in that picture and putting your own meaning upon it. And unafraid of whether you got the answer right, because you haven't been in school long enough to kind of get that message that you need to get right and wrong. And that's the thing with tarot. For me, it's about going deeper inwards to our intuitive understandings. And our intuitive understandings often start with interpreting symbols all around us. This was an ancient language that was here before words. We would work with the symbolism of the earth to get by, to live, to survive. And we've kind of forgotten about that because we live in a culture that is very heavily dominated by words, by language. But the tarot takes us back to something that we already innately have within us. That's an understanding of imagery, of pictures, of what's going on. And I see this all the time across my life now. From using tarot for a long time, I see signs and symbolism in nature, in particular in nature, but elsewhere too. The song that comes on the radio, the interesting conversation you have, the weird synchronicity that has no other explanation other than it was pure magic. And I choose to believe all of that. And I think the more you believe it, the more they happen, and the more you start to make sense from your life that goes beyond words and language. Back to being 6 years old. What would you see on this picture? So I'm going to try and interpret this as a 6-year-old. So it's pink. I like pink. There's, what does pink make me think of? Love, hugs, sweetness, innocence, femininity. Then we have trees. So when I think of trees, I think of something strong and sturdy and powerful. If I look closely at the trees, they have roots that hold them down into the ground. Some little birds you may be able to tell up here. The trees are in blossom. This one looks like it's in blossom. This one has its green. They both have green leaves. So there's a real summery vibe to it. So there's 2 little people down the bottom and there's 2 little deers. So as a child, I might look at it and go, oh, these people are sort of hanging out. They're having a picnic and there's a path. Maybe that's the way they came in, and maybe they're going to go down that path in a minute. They want to go see these cute deers. and harness them and make them their pets. This is literally what I want you to do. Be fun. Have some play with this. What does your card say? So please do have a look now at your card. Have a look and think, what is the story being told by the imagery? And you don't have to get it right. It doesn't have to match up with what's in any tarot book that you happen to own. It doesn't have to match up with the information with the deck that you're using. It just is your playful, light way of beginning to interpret the pictures upon the cards. So as we move through this month, if you ever feel stuck by a card, or there's a card that you really can't get to grips with, just bring yourself back to this easy question. What is the story being told? And then sit with that. Maybe journal on it. Maybe write down the story that you think is being told. So for me, this is two people having a picnic and sort of gazing upon one another under their trees on a nice sunny day. And at some point, they're probably going to get up and go for a walk together. From here, we can start to layer loads of different understandings onto that very basic story. But let's begin with the basic story. So look at your card, make up a little story, a couple of lines long, put it in the comments, share it with us. I would love to see that. I think it's a really fun way of building your confidence and starting to work with the cards in a way that feels free from pressure and free from getting it right, because there is no getting it right, and that's what I'm going to teach you. You'll come up with your own interpretations over time, and it starts here with the picture, with the story, with the symbols, and your creativity at just conjuring something. Okay, I'll see you again tomorrow.